Hello, everyone. Welcome to Elevating Your Life. We are going to have so much fun today. I have here, actually, in my studio with me, our guest today. We are welcoming David Sweet. He is from Tacoma, Washington, and lives with his artist wife and a flat-coated retriever who loves his wife a tiny bit more than him. I love it. He attended Lincoln and Mount Tahoma high schools and graduated from the University of Puget Sound with a bachelor degree of science degree in physics and mathematics. And he began as a writer of sales, training manuals, and advertising copy, as well as a personal life coach and consultant. And he has a great story to share and much more. How his first book, how he wrote it in the middle of the night. So I would love to start with just, if you want to share a little more background and jump into that amazing first book you wrote. Welcome, David.
Well, thank you, Paula. Happy to be here. The background was my knowing a lady who started to channel way back when, about 1979, and she was writing. And that's exactly what she was doing. Back then, the channeling was kind of like, oh, you're doing this, and that was new to a lot of people. And she was doing it, and it just came to her. So I thought, I want to be able to do that. That's pretty cool. And so I thought, okay, now how am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to learn to meditate. That was it. So it got to how many times could I sit there and watch the flame and nothing happened? And how many times could I listen to the right music and nothing happened? And how many times could I sit this way and nothing happened? I was not going to give up. And then one day I was laying out flat. I could show you exactly where it was in the house and everything. And on a carpet and kind of going in. And then I could feel myself going through the floor. Yay! I did it. So I worked on that meditation, getting centered for myself for quite a while. And then my goal was to hear guidance. Mm-hmm. The first thing I heard, I could show you the parking lot, exactly what it was, where it was, and it was the coffee's hot. Because right around the corner, my mom had a knitting shop. It was on 40th and Bridgeport, and she had the coffee pot. So from there, I was given some pretty stringent things to do so that my listening was on target. And they had me jumping through hoops. The point is that I'm kind of stubborn, I suppose. You recognize that. And when they say stop, I was to stop. They say left, right, or whatever, boom, no questions asked. So I went through their training to get to that point.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is the Stones, Winds, and Life book. If I can hold it up here. And quite an interesting story. How did this come about? It was about 1993, and I started. Really, it felt like I was always kicked in the butt at between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And I had no choice. I didn't hear anything, but I had no choice, just feeling to get up. So we lived in an apartment. So I got up, rolled out the yellow tablet with a pen, and I never knew what was going to come. Never. And I wrote 65 different plays, tales, short stories within a period of about 7 years. And then, so that was done. And so we decided to do the cocktail table book. I'm showing it again, but if you can see in here quickly, here's one. We did custom. There's 26 different charcoal drawings in here, which we had a neighbor do it. He's very, very good, Rick Farrell. And let me see if I can really find. I love this one. This is Caissons of Thought. And so it was a great cocktail table book. And
that was your beginning.
It was a failure, complete failure as a cocktail table book.
Oh.
However, back then, and realized that I had the real estate world that I was working in too. So I sold approximately 400 of these out of the trunk of my car. We printed 1,000 of them. No, I take that back. We've only got about 360 left. So, and after I sold 100 of them, I started to get referrals. And the poignant part about it is I've heard many times, and I have written referrals, that people keep it by their bedside or on their kitchen table. And you can see the failure. It was not a cocktail table book. And they pick it up whenever they're led to, and it acts as an oracle.
And when they're needing something or needing to read one of your things, and really, that's very special.
It is.
That's very special.
And I was musing one time. I was talking to Kim Andreessen, who has later on, not in this segment, I'll show you some artwork that she's done. Okay. Very sharp person. And I was lamenting to her, I don't know how to put this on Amazon. I never got on this. I thought, what should I say about this? And Kim says, David, it's the bridge to hope and confidence.
Beautiful.
Boom, done. Yep. Thank you. Yep. I give her total credit for that. Absolutely.
I love it. Love it. And then what triggered you? And then you continued on to some of these other beautiful writings that you have. Tell us about those.
Well, here's one in particular. What I would do, knowing how to marketing, I learned marketing from some really, really sharp people. They also knew that having prototypes and testing the market was important. So I brought with me today, this is one of the original prototypes of Art of Listening, which we just not really printed it beyond this, except that I've gone back through in the last year, redone it, and it's ready to be printed.
Nice.
And the heart of listening is frankly how to listen, how to speak, how to ascertain and find out what's really, really behind the thoughts and the motivation of whom you're speaking to. It's about sales. And in fact, in the heart of listening, I've got some pretty high-powered people.
Yeah.
Local in the area,
Because
and not
that's communication skills for them.
Oh yeah,
Huge.
absolutely. One of the more excellent one is a fellow who told me he makes his living in the tech world. And he said, David, this is how I make my living, assisting those people who are techies to be able to talk to the other people. He was a manager.
Yeah.
Pretty high test. And that's the point.
That is very important.
Yeah, he's given me a strong referral on this. And the other referral, among the others, is Janet Harvey, who owns Invite Change up in Edmonds. And a shout out to her. If anyone listening wants to get started in coaching, that is absolutely the place to go. Janet Harvey has done the foreword for that book.
Thank you.
For me. Wonderful person and triple sharp.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
You.
And let's see. Here's another. This is how you have the Heart of Resilience book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is how it started out. Just this little, that was it. It was the first prototype, not much to it. However, we had to get over it faster, and I had an attorney work on it, and he said, we can't, they won't give us a trademark or the patent on it because it's too close to someone else. So this was the prototype on that. And then this is what you have, Paula.
And that, I have to say, so many times reading this book, I teared up. I loved it so much. The messages, the workbook. Tell the audience about that book. I loved it, David.
Well, the book itself is 100-pound paper, spiral bound. You could run over it with the truck, which is one thing we haven't done, but I really want to do. Hey,
Protest.
We're not selling trucks, but the book made it. So the Heart of Resilience book, the main tagline is you can celebrate, you have the freedom to celebrate yourself and your joy, and you'll never again have to rely on someone else or what's going on around you to feel good about yourself. That's the tagline.
That's a huge message.
And in the book, there's 3 strong points. Your joy is yours, no matter what. Number 2 is you can start, you can fake it till you make it. It too acts as an oracle. Wherever you want to open it up, you can start there. And number 3 is it teaches the mechanism behind resilience. Now, how does that work? I have no idea. However, that's what it's made, and that's what it does. And it's been in Afghanistan with Special Forces. I've used it with Toys for Tots for 2 years. Fellow George Height, retired Marine, by the way, was running Toys for Tots. And George, coincidentally, had one of these. And when I showed it to him, he says, "Oh, David," he said, that's the new path for life. And anyway, so I happened to be waiting at Griot's garage. And I thought, should I go back to my office? Nah, I'll wait. It was almost Christmas time. And comes George with the Toys for Tots truck. And George, how are you doing? All he said was, David, he said, I want you to come and work with these ladies from Purdy Work Release who've been helping me out. And he says, you bring your books and I'll see you there. That was George. And so I did that 2 years in a row, and really, really good work.
I can imagine how that felt.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, good word by heartfelt. It was
Yes.
very interesting. The first year we had either 6 or 8 around
Mhm.
the table, and the way that in cases like that, what I found works for what I have is I just start reading, read something, and then we talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's very, very extremely organic.
And, doing things like you did that with the Toys for Tots, when you do things out of kindness and compassion, you're also gifting yourself. You really are. I was just yesterday at a location here in Tacoma. I got a private tour on a Tacoma rescue location. Over the years, I've liked to do little part-time volunteering, and it's just a reminder of any kind of kindness, what we can do. And your words are kindness, David.
Oh, thank you.
What you share in that book, I mean, that's not just guidance and information and inspiration. It's a kindness.
Mm.
It is. That's what I felt. Your writings are really beautiful.
Yeah, well, thank you. So, oh, the let's cover the hand to heart.
I would love that. I would
Okay.
love that.
This is interesting. The there this is in the Part of Resilience book. However, here's how it works. I was taught through with my life coach the hand to heart is, and I believe this is out there everywhere. This is nothing new, particular, but the idea, the concept, and what works is to breathe in and imagine that the power of the breath is going through your hand to your heart and to your body. That's the concept. And obviously that works. So the backstory for me was I knew that. And quite a few years ago, when the resort opened up in Phoenix, we were down there. And one of the options was seeing a Qigong fellow during the day. It was Mirabal. It was the reason when they were just starting out. And so the night before, we were having glasses of wine with a lady from New York who was a talent scout. And I mentioned this, Qigong. And I had heard them because I took martial arts years ago. They're in different places throughout the country. I mean, they're in New York, just from my memory, and it turns out they're in Phoenix, also in Florida, but they're scattered around the world. And could be Siberia, inserts, whatever. So we were talking to her, and she said, she told a story. She said, I have a friend who was taking from a Qigong master in New York. And the master told her, if you ever need me, I'll be there. And I remember the story succinctly. So the lady got into a problem on some streets of New York. Now, this is a long time ago, so it's probably in a couple of murders or something like that. And the master was there in spirit. No doubt in my mind that they can do that. And so they're also, if you've ever studied, they're the fellows, I'm being kind of cryptic and quick here, that can put you across the room without touching you. So back to my time with the Qigong. It was 2 hours, and he showed me all of the ways that they did for their health. He told me, he says, right off, he says, I won't show you any of the violence. He says, I'm going to show you how we take care of ourselves, because there are Qigong masters out in that can't get to medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot, as example, I'm paraphrasing, not correct, but the idea is that if you have a sore throat, and you take your tongue around 3 times, and then imagining swallowing the golden ball 3 times.
Yeah.
So they have these, over the centuries, they've developed what they can use to heal themselves.
Mm-hmm.
As example, I also recall that if you've had bad energy coming at you, then take that energy and put it into your Tian. Bring it all into the Tian, which is a little bit below the belly button,
Mm-hmm.
to get rid of it. So we took, that was my first time with him. And then we went again, and he gave a class. And it was very interesting, because there was old people, young people in that class. And within a minute, he gave everyone the skills to not be pushed over, period. Just like that.
I believe it.
That was remarkable. And
there is so much wisdom out there, with, shamanism in the different areas. And I mean, they can do things with mantras, with the plants they eat, with sound. It's fascinating, isn't it, David?
oh yeah, we're so small.
Yeah. Yeah, there is so much out there, so much we can bring in.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exciting. That is cool for you to connect with that.
So here's what I took and I added to the heart to hand. And that is this: the Qigong is very simply, when you breathe in, shut your mouth, and put your tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Okay. Mouth shut, tongue to the tip of your tongue to the top, and breathe in through your nose only. And then when you breathe out, open your mouth, take your tongue down, and breathe out. And I will quote him exactly. He said, it's just like a light switch. Mm-hmm. And it really is. So when you're doing the heart to the hand, I give them full credit, the Qigong breathing technique. And it works. In fact, to expand, I was waiting in the doctor's office. I thought, okay, how can I get my heart rate down? Because anytime you're going to the doctor's office, your heart rate's up anyway, your blood pressure. And I thought, well, it looks kind of pretty silly to be like this. As people are sitting around. So I imagined it, that my hand was there, and I imagined the whole thing. However, I still did the Qigong breathing. And after a while, I don't know, I was out in the zone when they called me in.
Mm-hmm. You were zoning. I love it.
I was really. So anyway, that's my proof, and that's where it came from.
Oh, I love it.
That's in the Heart of Resilience.
And your website, edgeofcourage.com, they can learn a lot more about you, can't they?
Yes. We just finished a free self-help that is there. We have testimonials on business development that I've done, testimonials on helping people. Frankly, there's a lot. We did a advertisement that we sent out not too long ago. And the average person was on there in 6.67 minutes average. And
Love it. Are you working on anything new? Are you writing anything new right now, David?
well, yes, we have we've completed Dynamite Dan.
Dynamite Dan.
Dynamite Dan,
That sounds
Dynamite Dan.
fun.
So Dynamite Dan is Dynamite Dan, mine and Marge,
I love
really, Shot Hole Slim, and Nitro Nell.
it.
And they're in approximately the 1880s, running around the country blowing things up. And then they get on to trying to find a last gold mine. And that's the story. It's the longest poem I've ever written, and it is long. And then we've added other things to it. So we have that right. That's kind of a short story. We're also working on Dragon's World, which is another short story. And by short, I mean 15 poems, thoughts, whatever. So Dragon's World is gunfighters, pirates, and time travel.
Wow.
So we're also, since you asked, self-love wins.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh.
We have some of that on the website. We've got 3 of them. We're going to expand on that. And
David, we have about 1 minute left. What last message do you want to give everyone today? What would you like to say?
don't ever give up. That's the bottom line. When you feel that hope is gone, forget about it. You can find it. And it takes a lot. And it takes a lot to have real resilience. It's not easy. And I can say, who hasn't been there? I've been there. You get on the edge of it, and things aren't looking good, and you're down, and you're being beat up, and whatever. It's part of life. It's learning. Don't give up.
Thank you.
If at all possible.
Thank you, David. This has been such an honor.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love it. You are very special. You are a gift to so many of us. Goodbye, everyone. Love, hugs, and blessings. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you all.
Bye.